Howdy, hey people, it's the HyperWeeMan here, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing my opinions and thoughts of two subjects in Destiny. One, the Titan changes coming with today's update, December 8th, Tuesday. I forgot what number it is, I'm sorry, but yeah, coming with that update today. And my opinions on, before I play of course, the new Sparrow Racing League and what I thought of the reveal and, you know, just what I thought of it at the PlayStation experience, because I watched the live stream online. And I wanted to express my opinions about these two topics. This is going to be a new series called Let's Talk. It's probably just going to be called like Hyper Talks About or Hyper Let's Talk or something like that. Because I'm going to be just basically, I like to ramble on a lot. I really like to talk, even if it's to a mic. And just I want to see if you guys kind of agree with me. And you know, I really like to talk. And you guys will find that in my live stream. And speaking about live stream, this video right now, as you can see me pop, coming out of nowhere. This is basically me setting up my live stream for the first time in about a year and a half. Which, by the way, next video, I'll be talking about that. So if you just wait, I'll explain the stuff then. But yeah, the live stream here, I was just testing some stuff. You know, I was getting my friends to help me out in the chat, you know, saying, oh, what's low and what's high and blah, 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 blah. But that's in the background. You're just going to see some of me goofing around in the tower. Maybe Crucible, you know. You're just going to see some test live streaming stuff in the background here, but that's not important. What is important is the Titan changes that are coming with today's update. So, basically, I think... Okay, let's get one thing out of the way first. It's so goddamn obvious that when the Titan Hammer was released, everyone thought it was the coolest goddamn super in the entire Destiny. Like... I think it's my favourite super, not just because of how OP it is, but just because of the idea. I literally had this idea of a Sunbreaker before the game came out, and I don't know if people will back me up on this, like my friends, when I was talking to them about the new subclass changes. Well, you know, the new subclasses, not changes, but like introducing the Solar Titan, the Void Hunter, and the Arc Warlock. Basically, I said something similar to this about the Titan Sunbreaker. Basically, I said that the Titan is going to run around and he's going to basically... I was basically saying he's going to be in flames and headbutt stuff, you know. And it's basically going to be like like an ongoing shoulder charge. It's going to be like it's a bit like a golden gun, but he's just going to use his head to... It was kind of weird at the time, but I kind of got the idea. And I was very shocked to see when it came out. But seriously though, the Titan Hammer, one of my favourite supers, just because of how cool it is, just because of the sound effect it makes when you activate it, because of the, you know, viability of it, you know, the mobility. You can basically use it anywhere at any time, and it's such a fun super to use. But let's face it, we all know that that super is extremely overpowered and it needed to change as soon as it came out. When the game first came out, no one would stop complaining about the Titan Sunbreaker. Obviously I was having fun with it because the Titan is my main character, but at the same time we need to realise that all supers have to be balanced and we have to try and generalise them and balance them, right? The Sunbreaker was definitely too OP. Everyone definitely thought the Warlock's Stormcaller was okay, and everyone definitely thought the Void Bow was cool but not really effective. But people found their ways with Quiver, of course. And basically, I'm trying to say the Titan Super Sunbreaker, it was just ridiculous. So they had to make changes to that. So apparently, according to the Bungie update, I'm going to read it off the site, they were aiming to give other players a glimmer of hope standing against a Solar Titan in PvP. Now this is very true, and for one reason only. Just because you cannot one-headshot them with a high-impact sniper. Only if you had like an Irene like in the chamber, but even then, what are the chances, man? You could, whenever I hear a Solar Titan in PvP, I run the hell away, man, because there's no way you are killing one of those things. They are juggernauts on steroids, my friend. No way you're getting past them. But basically, yeah, bring down the average KDR so it's close to the ideal 1.0. But basically everyone was getting positive games every time they played, and sorry about my wording, but every time they played, they would go absolute ham with it. They would absolutely go out of the... You know, they're just going to be crazy with that, man. You could never go negative with a Sunbreaker, and if you did, man, you really need to reevaluate how you play a first-person shooters and how you throw hammers at people. Because, I'm going to be honest, I am a Titan at heart. I was a Titan since the game came out, but I have got other characters, but the Titan is my favourite. And even I realise that it's not really that difficult to use the Sunbreaker. It's really easy mode, in my opinion. It's almost as easy mode as, well, not Radiance, but self-resing, and then, you know, basically giving yourself a second chance. But that's not what we're talking about. We're going to move on to the third point, which was encourage taking alternative paths through the node tree. So I'm guessing what they mean by this is that there's more flexibility, more viability of what you can choose. So people weren't just relying on, for instance, on PvP, the Flame Seeker, which I think gave you a plus recovery and agility. One of the nodes did. And something like Culturize, which Culturize is getting changed gladly. I'll explain that later. But Culturize, it was Flame Seeker, or Explosive Pyra, because that is an absolutely beast. And Sunspots and Melting Point. You know, basically, people would lean towards one class build, like one set of nodes, and they wouldn't change it at all. So that's what I want to do with the Solar Titans. We're going to move on to Arc and Void, because these two are actually changing, and I didn't expect this, but these two are changing, and I kind of agree with what they're doing. I can kind of see why they need to be buffed. So if I explain the Arc Titan, they want to bring up the average KDR so they can compete with other subclasses. The only thing that's good with a Striker Titan, in my opinion, is 1, Shoulder Charge, 2, Armamentarium with Lightning Grenades, which is coming back in today's update as a Year 2 exotic, which is great. I love using that. And just the super. I believe it could take out a Sunbreaker in one super, and just anything basically. So those are the only things that were really going for it. Apart from that, it was a pretty mediocre class. And then obviously another point is they want to reinforce the Striker's hard charging melee role. So they want to focus the Arc Titan on meleeing stuff rather than just, I don't know what like grenades, I assume, because the lightning grenades, they want to make it so it wants to punch things with the melee power-ups, with the discharge and all this and that. Lastly, Void Titan. They've only given 1 point for this, for the goals of a Void Titan. They've said to double down on the instant base ready for anything combat support role. So basically, I think what they're saying is that they want you to be very, obviously, defensive more than offensive. They want you to place that bubble down, make you an absolute, I don't know, wizard with all your fast, like, power-ups, like the War Machine one, which makes, I think that's the right one, correct me if I'm wrong, the War Machine, which makes your reloads and all that really fast for a short period of time with Force Barrier. That's the one, Force Barrier. So, yeah, I think they just want to make you use your abilities more, like your grenades and your melees, and recharge faster. I think that's what they're trying to say. Now, onto the patch notes. So this is what they are doing to all the classes, and I will try not to blabber on for all of them because there is a lot here to say. Titan patch notes. So the melee extended range, I think this goes for all subclasses, but the extended Titan range, melee range, is now 12.5. So that's 1/8 of its original range, which I think is good, and I'm checking, and yes, that is for every single class, every single subclass. I did feel like I was swinging my arm to nothing most of the time. It is very short distance, and I'm glad that's getting a change. Sunstrike decreased damage over time from 6.5 to 5.5 seconds. I'm assuming this is the duration of the super. I believe it is. Because damage over time, I think is the super. But correct me if I'm wrong again. But I think that is the duration of the super. So 1 less second, which is alright. Super. Hammer of Soul reduced damage resistance during super 9.09%. So basically 9% less resistance. So I think this will allow the player to finally like one, headshot with a high impact sniper, which is good. I believe they should have the same treatment as the Radiance Warlock, because the Radiance Warlock and the Titans I thought were the same, as in health resistance, damage intake, same thing. But basically what I'm saying is the Warlock should have had that with the Titan in my eyes. Like the same, and now they are getting that basically, I believe, so that's good. I did not understand why the Titan had more health than a Radiance Warlock. It did not make sense to me. Hammer of Soul, slow hammer travel speed by 1.32%. So basically what this means is that the hammers will obviously travel slower, which is alright. Basically the velocity of the hammer will be decreased, so that's alright, I'm down for that. Passives, Forge Master reduced splash damage by 20%, so less splash radius on the hammer, which is good. Flame Seeker to turn down the hammer tracking bonus by 25%, so it will track 25% less. Flame Seeker, yeah, this is what I said earlier about the recovery and agility. They have now removed the 1 recovery and the 1 agility stat bonus. For a perk like that to have that added on was kind of OP. Well, not OP, but it was kind of just a go-to in a way, so people can have that extra recovery and that agility. So I'm glad that has fixed itself, and they're changing that. Instead, what they're doing is Fleet Fire, which was the speed boost, which stacked up, which I actually used at the beginning, was added +1 agility stat, which is good. Firekeeper added 1 recovery, which is fine. And then Culturize, which is the health regen, has had a cooldown from when you get health to when you can next get health back, which is from 0 seconds, so basically it was instant every time you got a kill, which was ridiculous in PvP, to 3 seconds. So that's definitely going to be the biggest difference in the Sunbreaker in my eyes. Just the 3 seconds of, health. Because if you're getting shot by everyone and you get your health back, then you suddenly lose health again. You've got to get out of there, because you're going to die. So, one last thing on the Sunbreaker, and this might be for all subclasses. I'm going to have a look. Yep, this is for, again, the melee and now the Titan lift is Catapult lift, faster initial velocity by 5% on all classes. So that means, I think Catapult makes you launch higher than lift. I never understood Catapult as a node, because I always felt like the Titan's lift was just so much better than the Catapult, which I don't really understand, so just super weird. Basically, the lift was higher than Catapult, which was kind of misleading for me. Next, we have the Striker, the melee. Yep, I've explained it's been extended. Stormfist, base damage by 18%. That's a lot. I wonder how that's going to come into play. Overload now provides faster melee recharge by 50%, which is half. That's pretty good. Getting a buff there. Discharge, more damage by 7.69%, which, again, I agree, because Strike is pretty underwhelming. Changed in discharge, changed AoE to spherical shape. So, I'm trying to say spherical as in a sphere. Yep, that's fine. Amplify, increased super energy bonus by 30%, because Amplify did a little bit, but not too much. So that's pretty good. I mean, you can get your super back pretty quickly now. Passives was Headstrong, now also provides faster sprint, so you're going to get a bit more, well, your movement's going to be more fast with that. Transfusion, cooldown from 5 to 3, so you can get those health regen back every 3 seconds. A bit, as I've noticed it just now, that is very similar to Culturize on the super, so maybe they're trying to balance that out. Unstoppable, it now provides a total of +2 armor, and it says +1 additional in brackets, so I don't know, that means if it additionally had 1, or they're just adding 2 and 1 additional from a perk or something. I have no idea. Unstoppable, increased damage resistance by 25%, so that's a quarter. Juggernaut, improved shield health by 14%, which I don't see Juggernaut used anymore in this game. And I used to use it when the game first came out, just kind of found it underwhelming, so hopefully that will make me want to use it more in situations. Juggernaut now works while airborne, so when you jump it actually stays, which I found that as a big problem. Like, why would you just want to have it in a straight line when you're trying to avoid bullets? You jump and it's still there, which is nice. And again, Catapult lift is faster by 5%. Lastly, Defender does not have that much, so don't worry, won't be here for long talking about Titans. Is the melee has been extended, as we know. The super Ward of Dawn, as you now cast your Ward of Dawn, your grenade and melee abilities will recharge, which I think is fantastic, because you're basically, it's given that idea of double downing on the Bungie's goals. They wanted to make the Titan, when they have the bubble, very, very, not powerful, but ready for anything, like grenades, melees, the blessing, the weapons, all at once. You're just a Juggernaut in a shield, and I think that's pretty good, because the Defender can be quite underwhelming unless you've got a Helm of Saint 14 in my eyes. So that's pretty good. I'm glad that's happening. And then we have, again, just the Catapult lift again, the 5%, and you know the drill. And that's basically it. Final conclusion, I actually agree with all of this. I think this is a pretty good move on Titans, because Titans, one subclass is OP and one isn't, and it's basically that they're really balancing out here. I think Titans now have a bigger flexibility choice in what they can run. I think that's a pretty good move. Well done, Bungie. I completely agree with all the changes in Titans. And yeah, I just generally do. It's pretty